Hey everybody, it's Alex Necker with the Polaris Home Team of American Premier Realty. I'm here with my friend Ellie Knott. Ellie is with Ellie Chase Coaching. So yes. Ellie, tell us what you do.
I am a parent coach.
Okay, so what does a parent coach do?
A lot of things. I work with parents to help them really be able to be the best parent that they can be and show up as the parent that they want to be. A lot of parents have this, vision in their head of how they would like to show up for their kids, but day in and day out, it just gets really hard with the chaos of life. So in coaching, we go through a 12-week program. We learn lots of skills where we can really build onto those skills as we go through the program and then integrate it with your life and kind of what's important to you and your family.
So then I understand about, I have numerous coaches in my life for numerous different things. And when I think about parent, I think about when we go to a gym, I know what that coach looks like, and I have a business coach, and I know what that looks like. But when I think about parent coaching, exactly what does that look like?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it is so interesting that parenting is, I would argue, one of the most important jobs that anyone will ever have in their life, and we don't have coaches for it, right?
No,
until now.
they give you the baby and no instruction manual. It's
exactly,
great.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So when you sign up for parent coaching, you get the 12-week curriculum content so that it has videos, it has workbooks that you can do on your own time at home. And then once a week, we meet together for an hour-long session where we can actually go through, we can clarify any of that content. We can talk about what it actually looks like. If there's something that maybe we need to role play it out so you can get a chance to practice it. And then we can also just tie it into whatever current challenges or situations are happening with you and your family.
So I'm going to kind of go out on a limb here and say that the time for parent coaching is not when you think you need parent coaching.
I 100% agree with that.
So when do you think, right, when is the optimum time if someone was thinking you know what, I think I'm pretty good. Mm-hmm. And I know I could be better.
Yeah.
So when's the optimum time I'm assuming your child's life, to bring in a parent coach?
I think if every parent in the world could have a parent coach and they could do that when their child is around 2 years old, that would be just a game changer for the entire world, honestly. Yeah. 2 years old is really where, children, they start talking, they start having a lot more bigger emotions, things get a little bit more complex. They do, and they're not just a baby where, right. they cry and you're like, okay, I'm going to feed you, I'm going to change your diaper, I'm going to put you down for a nap. It gets a little more complicated, and that's where our children can really start to trigger things inside of us and kind of bring up things from our own childhood, which we might not even realize it's happening in the moment, but it kind of causes these quick reactions from us. And then after the fact, we're like, whoa, why did I do that? And so parent coaching really helps you figure that out. Why did I do that? And now how can I move on and show up the way I want to?
So if you could go out and you could teach every parent something, what would you start with?
The very first skill that I would tell parents to work on is just becoming more present.
And so, okay. So what does that mean? But what does that mean? Really mean? How do I be more present?
Yes. Being present is such a buzzword and hot topic right now. And so to me, being present is being physically there in the moment, but not only in your body, also in your mind.
Okay.
So when we're present, we're not worrying about the past, thinking about what we could have changed. We're not planning for the future or worrying about what's going to happen. We are just in this moment, just right now.
And so it's funny because when you say that, I think about being present of, yes, being physically present, but not that I'm worried about what's going on in the past or what's going on in the future, but more what's going on. I'm distracted by some external device.
Yes, that also. Okay. That is very much included, and I guess I would put that kind of in the really physical and mental. That's
the low-hanging fruit.
It is. And so put the phone away, when you can. And I think a misconception with how popular presence has become is that, you need to do it all the time and it needs to be perfect. And we're never going to be present 100% of the time. If we were, we would never get a chance to reflect on the past. We would never have a chance to plan for the future. So it's not about being present 100% of the time in every moment that you're with your children, but just getting more intentional about how often am I being present with my children versus how much am I not, and when are those moments that I could be more present.
So then, like, if you can think of some scenarios when we're talking about presence that are like, okay, because I think about, in my mind, like, presence is we've got my child acting up, doing something, right? And it's like, okay, I need to be present in that moment, or they're having a meltdown, right? About something. So, but then I'm also assuming you're talking to me about just in general when we're not having a meltdown, right? So, like, can you give me some scenarios of, like, you know, when, if we have that we're having that meltdown situation and we need to be present, what's that look like? How would you coach me on being present during the meltdown?
That's a good question, and that's a topic we could go so deep on and spend so much time, but just at a very surface level, I would say to really, get down on your child's level and to just witness them, just to hold space for them, and to be able to let them have those emotions and feel safe having those emotions with you.
Yep. Okay, so here's my question, probably from real life. So, right, so my kids get all amped up, right, about something, and then I'm getting all amped up about something. So how do I prevent myself from, like, feeding into that thing, right? Because then that's when things go off the rails, right?
Yes, we all start to escalate. We feed off that energy. And that one, unfortunately, I can't give you a quick fix.
Okay.
But that's why we have parent coaching now, is to help you figure out, why am I getting so triggered? Like, why do I get so wrapped up in my child's energy? Why can't I stay calm? So a huge thing that we practice in parent coaching throughout the whole 12 weeks is being able to come to our own calm space in our body and to be able to stay there even when our child is going absolutely nuts.
This sounds like this would work in external scenarios that don't involve children and involve adults.
Absolutely.
All right, so then how about when it's just, we're talking about day to day, we're not in that, like, meltdown situation, but more just like, okay, we're there with our children. How do we exercise that presence?
Yeah, so again, it might just be being a witness, because maybe your child is, they're not having a meltdown, but they're still running 100 miles an hour and you don't have the energy to do that with them. Yeah. You can still be, in the room being present with them, or you might be able to engage in them with whatever activity they're interested in that moment.
So then, okay, so being present, not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, and being physically and mentally engaged with external stuff not affecting me. Okay. So what will be the next thing that, if you could spread the word and tell everybody about, what would be the next thing beyond being present?
I guess I would say kind of how we could become more present, because that can feel very vague and like, how do I become present if I've never done this before? So I would actually break it down into, like, some smaller actionable steps that you could take. And the first thing is really just becoming aware and just starting to notice.
Oh, I'm about ready. They're amped up. I'm about ready to get amped up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And just starting to notice that. And even if you do continue to get amped up, that's okay, because now you're starting to build awareness so that next time you might be able to notice that a little bit sooner. And then you might be able to kind of bring yourself down from it before you get too amped up. And then also just noticing, like, you'll start to notice moments where you're like, oh, I could be really present with my child right now. Like, I'm on the phone or I'm doing dishes, but, like, this thing actually isn't that important. And maybe I could switch my attention to my child right now. Just gaining that awareness. And if you notice that you're not present, you don't need to beat yourself up about it. You don't need to judge yourself, because it's not going to help. It's just going to make you feel worse.
Right.
But it's just noticing and then thinking, do I want to shift to presence now, or do I really truly not have the time for that in this moment?
All right. So we've talked about step 1, being present. Step 2, being aware of when maybe we're not, and knowing that we'd like to do better.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what's step 3?
Now, once you're really becoming aware and seeing when you are present and when you're not, now you can start to make goals for yourself. You're going to do this in a time when you're feeling calm, when you have some time to sit and reflect and plan. And you're going to make a very specific goal, and you're going to make a goal that you feel very confident that you can be successful in.
Okay, can you give me a little example of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would just sit down and really think about the routine of the day. Morning time usually isn't a good time for parents because we're like trying to get everyone fed and clothed and out to school and we got to get to work. That's not a good time to like plan for presents. Instead, think about your day. Think about a time that is really calm. Maybe it's nap time, getting ready for nap time, getting ready for bedtime. Maybe it's dinner time when everyone's sitting down together at the table. Maybe not. You're laughing.
No. I'm laughing about trying to go to bed. I mean, trying to get children to go to bed is like, it's an awful scenario.
Yeah, so exactly. It depends totally on your scenario. And that's the benefit of working with the coach is that you get to really tailor it to what works for you. So thinking about when is that calm time of the day and thinking, okay, when it's story time at night, like this is my time to be present. My phone's not going to be in the room. I'm not going to be thinking about other things. I'm going to be reading and I'm going to be really tuned into my child, watching how they're enjoying the story that I'm reading to them and just
sitting in the moment.
This moment
sitting in that moment, right?
Yeah.
So, I think that's something that's interesting because it's very attainable. It's not like you need to be present all the time, right? Like that's an impossible goal, right?
And we wouldn't want that.
So it's like it's tailoring it to a specific time, and then I'm assuming it's like saying, okay, well, I got that done here, and I was able to do that. Can I do it somewhere else? And expanding that time a little bit. If
it feels right to you, right? Maybe not. Maybe that once a day is all you can handle right now, and that's okay. And just keep coming back to that once a day. It's way more about the consistency than the like, can we do more? Can we do more? Can we do more? Because that's when we start to get burnt out and it might come crashing down. Okay. We don't want that either.
All right. So, step 1, we're being present. Step 2, we're being aware when we're not. Step 3, we're setting goals for ourselves that we believe are achievable.
Yes.
What's step 4?
Step 4, it doesn't necessarily have to be step 4, but just kind of another a tip, something that's really easy you could go do right after you watch this video. You don't need any special training. Nothing is just active listening. And exactly how it sounds, active listening is just when, we're present and we are listening to what our child has to say.
I'm using my 2 ears and not my one mouth?
Yes, exactly. We're waiting for our child to finish whatever they're saying.
Before I interrupt them? See, I'm not good active listener.
No interrupting, and we know that children can sometimes take a really long time to get out their story, and they might be stuttering over it and trying to remember the words.
Yeah.
But just sitting there and giving them the time and space to get out that story, get out whatever it is that they're trying to tell you. And also making sure that we're not judging during that time. Like we're really just taking in what they're saying and we're not trying to fix anything. We're not trying to rescue. We're not trying to, we're just sitting there. And that can be the hard part.
That is the hard part. Yeah. You want to solve a problem and you don't need to solve a problem.
Yeah. Sometimes our children just need us to be there with them. They don't need anything more than that.
Yep. Well, that's probably a true statement for most people.
Yeah.
All right. So, step 1, be present. Step 2, be aware of when we're not being present. Step 3, set some goals to be more present. And to make it all work, just be an active listener.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Like, if people in our viewing audience are interested in getting to know you and possibly working with you, how do they get in touch?
Yeah, so you can go to my website at lchasecoaching.com. It's ELLIECHASE coaching.com. And when you go on there, you can book a free 30-minute curiosity call where we'll just get on a video chat. I can get to know you and your family a little bit better, hear what's going on for you. I can tell you more about parent coaching and how it works. And then we can decide if it feels like a good fit and if we want to work together.
Awesome.
And then, we'll go on from there.
And then, so you're going to offer something special to our viewers.
Yes. So anyone who sees this video and you book your curiosity call in the month of March, I can offer you 1 free week off of your 12-week coaching package.
So 12 weeks of coaching for the price of 11.
Yes.
Sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Absolutely.
All right, Ellie, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, until next time.
Be a nice human.